All right, story time. So today I went to the sauna. Oh, well, actually, after a lot of things. So a lot of things that come with this lifestyle and these choices is that at some point you also need to look into recovery. And it's an interesting one and I firmly believe this, but after I read it, they were talking about that you can't overtrain, you can just under recover. I think there's massive, massive truth in that. I get a lot of flack for, I train every day. I lift weights every day. I work, go for the weighted walk every single day, no days off. And I know I've seen this all. It's the same with 75 hard. It's the same with any of these, continuity programs that you train too hard. No. You can't overtrain. Like the majority of people have never even come close to overtraining in their entire life, but you can under recover. Lack of sleep, lack of food, poor food choices, poor recovery things, all this kind of stuff. So there are things that I do to combat that because sleep is a little bit outside of my control at the present moment with my son not, going through a sleep regression and my work, meaning I start work at 6 a.m. every day. So went to the chiropractor, got that sorted, dealing with a couple of old injuries that flare their ugly head occasionally, especially when the lack of sleep builds up. But then I went to the sauna because that's another thing. It's great for your cardiovascular health. It's one of those things, I think it's 3 times a week for 20 minutes, reduces all-cause mortality by like 70% or something like that. The Great Huberman podcast on it. But just fucking phenomenal. Plus, it's a great mental toughness test to see how long you can handle it. Then the one I go to has what's called sweat, chill, sit, repeat. So you go from the sauna where it's 90 plus degrees Celsius into a ice bath, which is between 0 and 1 degree Celsius. And it's fucking amazing. Again, talking about mental toughness. Anyway, so I was doing that for, recovery, pushing my mental toughness, plus just overall health. The combination of the growth hormone spike from the ice bath, the cardiovascular health from the sauna, and the combination of dealing with inflammation and all that kind of stuff, plus using double nasal breaths to control my cortisol levels and work on, bringing me back out of fight or flight back into a rested state. And putting it in that scenario is a great way to train that, like literally train that muscle. That was a long way to get to this point, but there was 2 incidents in today's sauna visit that made me feel like a fraud, that really brought up the imposter syndrome. And look, to be fair, I am not even remotely happy with where I am. I'm still fitter than 99% of people walking around. Like your average person, I'm hands down well above fitness, strength, physique, all that kind of stuff. And that's not a brag because I'm not in phenomenal shape, but it's just a comment on our society. But that being said, I was talking to one of the people who worked there, and one of the other people who works there is one of my friends and someone I've trained before. And they were like, if you're looking for a great trainer, see this guy. Currently standing there in, just swimming shorts, going, that's not a great sales pitch for me right now. I look like crap. I don't look like I walk the walk. And I'm deeply, deeply unhappy with that because it brings up this one of, and it's why keeping your word is so fucking important, that you must do these things, that you must follow through, you must do the work, that you have to learn to keep your word to yourself. Because it brought up to me this thing of, well, they don't know my story. They don't know that, I have a child not sleeping. Like, they don't know all the excuses that I've piled on to as why I don't look the way I know I should, the way I could look, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, as I said, it brought on this massive imposter syndrome. So I'm talking to this person and I'm like, running through a very short spiel of like how I could help them and how I could make a difference. And in the same thing, going, fuck, can I put a shirt on so I can feel a little bit more comfortable? Here I am, the fitness guy, the guy who's going to change your life, who can transform your world. And I'm talking out of my ass because, well, look at me. Like, how are you going to trust that I can change your life? You know? And then I had a second moment when I went in and was sitting in the sauna, and this guy starts talking to me, and he was asking, like, why I'm able to be here, like all those kind of things. He's asking the questions. And then we get into it, and turns out he is also a PT. And I look back at this dude with man tits and a beer belly, and I'm like, and he's like, oh yeah, that's one of my star clients who also has man tits and a belly. That one I'm less concerned about, because if you're doing the work, I don't give a shit which stage you're at. Like, I'm proud of anyone who's doing the work and making a change. And I don't know his story. He could have been, 150 kilos and this is him doing better. Like, I don't know these things. But to look at this personal trainer and, we're talking business, and then I looked him up online. He's been in the business for 30 years. If I was walking down the street and saw him, I'd say, hey, mate, do you want to come to the gym? Like, I can help you. And I think this is where integrity comes from. That if you're going to preach something, if you're going to teach and educate and lead, you have to lead. You have to walk the walk. And it's why I have to do this. And I have people in my life who are like, no, you're good. I'm like, I'm not fucking good. Like, I'm embarrassed about myself. I'm embarrassed where I'm at the moment. I know I'm better than this. I know I can do better, that I should be better. But we have these lowered standards. And yeah, like, it's part of why I'm not teaching any of this stuff, like, properly yet, because I'm not comfortable enough. I don't feel right in doing that, because I don't feel like I deserve to be able to teach this yet. I haven't earned that right. By the end of 126, I will. That's why I'm documenting this, because I want to show that not only do I walk the walk in every aspect of my life, but to show that I've done what I'm asking other people to do. It has been an ethos of my whole career that I will not ask anything of anyone that I haven't done myself or done more of. I will not ask you to do things if I haven't experienced them myself and know exactly what it's like to go through. That's why I think I'm, better qualified than most of the guys who have these perfect genetics and rock up and are like, yeah, let me show you exactly what I do. Well, your perfect genetics void that. I have been overweight. I have been deeply unhappy. I have bad eating habits. I have impulse control issues. I have all these things. And through discipline, through effort, through the Chasing Greatness 126 to Greatness program, I am overcoming my base nature to be a better man. Like, I can go down the rabbit hole like nobody's business. I love junk food, especially like just not even like good ones, like pizza and Ben & Jerry's ice cream and lollies and chips and all that kind of stuff. But I choose to override that for something better. I choose to forsake the instant gratification for the long-term satisfaction. I'm choosing every day to do hard things, to sculpt the man that I want to be. I have a purpose, I have a challenge, and I have a war. And I know that that is going to deliver me into this, because it is my duty, my honor, and my privilege to be the best man I can be for my family, for my kids, for those around me, those that I lead, for my community, for everyone I come in contact with, to be the best version of me. And I suppose I am harshly judging because I don't know people's stories. But if you are going to lead, I expect you to lead by example. It's like the Vince Lombardi saying, the only way to lead is to lead by example. That's it. Like, if you're not embodying the life that you expect of others, how are they going to respect you? That is just bullshit. It's why you lose respect. It's why people don't want to listen to you, because you're talking out of your ass and you're demanding of people things that you don't demand of yourself. Man who stands in authenticity of himself, of doing the things that have to be done, and then asks them of others, whether they agree or not, knows that it's from the right place. And even if they don't agree to do it because they can't make the sacrifice, they don't hold that against him because he's doing the work as well. That's why people like Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant and stuff, whether their teammates liked them or not, they had to admire them because they did the fucking work. They went in and did the work. And they worked harder than anyone else. So they might be dicks, but they're arrogant dicks who earn the right to be that way. And you've got to respect results. At the end of the day, results speak for themselves. You cannot deny what comes out from that. And that's the same for this. I honestly believe, not even believe, know for a fact, if you can commit to 126 for 126 days and you follow through every single day, you tick off everything on that list, by the end of the 126 days, you will be a different man. You will have ingrained habits into you that will change the trajectory of your entire life. Because if you win for 126 days consecutively, you're going to win the year. Unless you completely backflip on day 127 and just go back to square one, which I don't think would even be fucking possible. You are going to win the year. If you stack up enough wins in the year, you're going to win the decade. And then you're going to win your life. That's how you do it. You do the hard things. You get uncomfortable and you get fucking good at being uncomfortable and chasing the results. And then you'll find who you truly are. Plus, it's that type 2 fun. So type 1 is dopamine chasing. It's that quick fix. It's food, junk food, sedation, social media, TV, whatever it may be. That quick fix thing that makes you feel good in the moment, but long term doesn't actually do much for you. But type 2 fun is the satisfaction and joy of working hard and achieving something. Type 2 fun, you do 126 to greatness, you do something like this, you lay your head to rest every single day and you are loving life because you feel accomplished. You have that fire in you. You have that energy and that excitement from being the man that you know you should be. And it's more so when you compete. It's more so when you win against yourself. It's more so when you get out there and you go, I did something today that no one else would do. And instead of looking at it and going, man, this is hard, man, this is difficult, you shift the paradigm and you shift the perspective and go, yeah, this is fucking hard and I love it because every time I do something like this, I separate myself from others and I create a larger gap because others are not doing this shit. And you push yourself forward and you propel yourself forward. And you never know who you'll inspire. And it might not be reaching to your level, but maybe they'll do better. I think there's truly something in that. And, all the greats talk about it as being thought crazy, that you're obsessed, all those kinds of things. Good. The obsessed change the world, even if it's just your world, even if it's just that small circle of your family and friends. But you change that world, good. That creates a ripple effect and it spreads out. The crazy and the obsessed will change the world. And that's what you've got to do. You've got to pursue your greatness. And it keeps coming back to this thing of when I die, another 90 years from now, I want to look back and know that I gave it my all. That I meet the version of myself that I was supposed to be, and we are the same fucking person. That I went out and I didn't leave anything on the table. I loved hard, I lived hard, I worked hard. That I gave it my all. And I don't know, there's something beautiful and poetic and exciting about living a life like that, about achieving a life like that. You know, as I said, my purpose is to make my kids and my wife proud. That, they can look back on this and go, wow, daddy did it. Daddy really did it. And look, maybe I won't reach those financial aspirations that I have, those financial goals that I'm striving for. I'm pretty confident I will, especially doing stuff like this, because it's carving into me that I'm just going to get it fucking done. But even if I don't, I will know the man that I was and the man that I created, the man that I chose to be every single day. And I led by example. I led my life the right way, and I showed my family what was possible. If nothing else, that's a win. That's a life well lived. And I can't get past that point that, that's how it should be. That to go out and leave everything on the table, to go out in a blaze of glory because you pushed it to see what was possible. I'd much rather that life than being like, yeah, I enjoyed it, all that TV I watched, all that junk food I ate, like, yeah, that was wonderful. That was a life well lived. Is it? And there's this whole thing of like, oh, it's too late to change. What the fuck is that? No. It is never too late. As long as you are still breathing, there is an opportunity to change and get better. There is always time. You can always make the decision. But you have to make the decision. And this is the part people don't understand. Once you've made the decision, and I mean actually made the decision, not like, oh, it'd be kind of nice to change, be a better man, be in better shape, to achieve more goals, to, have more personal growth, to be a happier version of myself. Yeah, I'd be okay with that. No, you have to fucking decide. You commit. You go all in. The second you make that decision, it is done. End of story. You have to burn the boats. So there is no going back. There is no way of returning to who you were. You are burning in the boats. And now that you have committed, it is happening. You are going in, and there is nothing stopping you. Zero choice mentality. When you make that kind of decision, you've already won. You've already changed who you are, and you are already progressing towards everything that you need to be in this life. That is winning. And it's that kind of thing, the power of a decision, the power of moving forward with that kind of, this is what's happening. Because we don't get what we desire in life. We get what we tolerate. And that, again, it comes back to this thing of you created your reality. If you hate your life, that's on you. Fucking own that. Because we get what we tolerate. So if your life is crappy, that's because you tolerated things. You tolerated mediocrity. You tolerated average. You tolerated the choices that led you here. You tolerated letting yourself watch more TV or social media or eating the junk food or drinking or doing drugs or whatever it may be. You tolerated the side effects that came with that, and therefore this is where your life is at. So when you shift what you will tolerate, your life changes. I will no longer tolerate being this physical shape. I will no longer tolerate not winning every single day. I will no longer tolerate not moving forward in my life. I will no longer tolerate having to wear this mask and not being able to be who I am. I'm not going to tolerate that anymore. And I made that decision that I'm leaving that part of my life behind, that I am moving forward because, doing what I have always done is going to get me what I've always gotten. And I want more. I deserve more, and I'm going to take more. I'm going to fucking earn it. So I'm no longer tolerating the decisions that led me to this situation. It's time to be more, do more, and live more. So that's what I'm going to do. And I decided 39 days ago. Well, a little bit longer than that. It took me a minute to actually get into it. And that's the other thing that they talk about, that once you've decided, you do right now. And I'm not going to fucking lie, I struggle with this one a lot. I have been tossing up with adding some extra rules and, commitments to this process. Because as I said, I'm no longer happy with where I'm at. And I've been tolerating, skirting the rules a little bit for too long. So I need to decide and go fucking all in. But at the same point, I've been delaying it because they're things I don't want to give up. And so it's TV and social media. I like it. It's not good for me. It doesn't bring me anything. I don't gain anything from that. It's not true relaxation. But I really do like it. But I really like alcohol. I really like food. But I've chosen things of higher order, and I don't think I can progress to the next period of time, especially when I work so much and actively choose to spend so much time with my children, which I'm not going to change either. I don't think, based on my current actions and habits, that I can reach the next level that I want to reach. Therefore, I have to change. Therefore, I have to give up something. I have to sacrifice it for my future, for my kids' future, for my wife's future. I have to be a better man. Therefore, those things are going to fall on the wayside. And you really need to make that decision. And once you make that decision, you go 100% all in. You commit with no backsteps. There are no backslides. And if you do, that's part of life, but you start again from day one. If I miss anything on 126, I start again from day one. And I put too much. There's two parts to it. Part of this is accountability, because I put too much of this out there to fucking risk going back to the start now. Like, that would be humiliating. But if it happened, out of integrity, being a man of my word that I am building on now, I would have to, out myself and be like, I fucked up. I'm starting again. But that's not going to happen, because I committed. I decided. Zero choice mentality. So here we are. So that's another day. Day 39, another beautiful video. I'll be back tomorrow with some more insights for you, and I hope you enjoy.